All right, what's good, everybody? It's time to break down Game 44 of the 2025-26 Maple Leafs regular season. Don't adjust your sets. Nick Alberga filling in for Zach Phillips, who is on assignment in Michigan. The dude's hanging out with Red Berenson. What a fucking legend, first and foremost. And number two, if there's going to be a game that I fill in to do the Leafs Nation After Dark, I'll gladly take this one. I was sort of like thinking going into this game today, I was like, damn, am I going to have to pull like the Zach Phillips, like rip this team to shreds? But luckily they showed up to play. Again, the only negative I'll draw, and we'll talk about it quite a bit, I think, on the show, is the lack of discipline. But who cares? The Maple Leafs win at 5-0. Welcome to the Leafs Nation After Dark. Plenty ahead over the next hour and a half. Maybe we go 6 hours like Zach Phillips does on a routine basis. But thanks for being with us at the Leafs Nation 401. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Plenty ahead, a full game recap. We'll get your best bets going. I was just chomping at the bit trying to get that Austin Matthews ATG. Didn't happen, but one of two. I'll take it. I love our play of the game, grade of the game. Dan Riccio of Off the Roster, host of Off the Roster, as you guys know, over on the Nation Network YouTube channel, will drop by. He took in the festivities tonight at Scotiabank Arena. That place is buzzing. The Maple Leafs have been outstanding on home ice. That's 7 straight victories, by the way, at Scotiabank Arena. They extend the point streak to 9 games, 7-0-2. They end the skid against the Vancouver Canucks. They hadn't beat the Canucks since 2023. It had been a couple years. I know they only play a couple times a year, but still really, really good vibes, folks, with this Maple Leafs team now 16-5-5 at Scotiabank Arena. And we talked about it going into the day, just the importance of winning this game outright, just because of what's coming up on Monday night, and that's the Colorado Avalanche at Ball Arena to start off that 4-game road trip. You got Utah in the back-to-back. You got the Mitch Marner Vegas game on Thursday. Then you wrap that 4-game trip with a stop in Winnipeg a week from tonight. So all in all, feeling really damn good about this team. Don't forget, our Super Chat charity partner is Sick Kids. Want to make sure that your question or comment gets on the show. Hit us up with a Super Chat. Proceeds from our Super Chat will go to Sick Kids, ranked the #1 research-intensive children's hospital in Canada, 3rd in the world. So again, if you got those plays of the game, get them into the chat, even if you want to pipe in via Super Chat, grades of the game. But I want to bring in Producer Vick, folk. This guy's buzzing right now. He's feeling good about this Maple Leafs team. Vicky, how are you, buddy?
Fantastic. Can't feel any better after watching something like that, man. That was amazing. Great game.
My only question, so most of you are regulars. It's like me on King Street West, a regular. I could only wonder what our man Prague and this heated rivalry, I'm going to call it, between Prague and our guy Zach Phillips. Again, no Zach Phillips tonight. He's on the road in Michigan. He'll be back next game to break down Colorado and Toronto coming up on Monday. But I've been warned about this. Obviously, I watch this show quite a bit. I know what's cooking. But if you can tap into the mind of Prague first and foremost, Vicky, like what kind of negativities can you draw from a 5-0 victory against the Vancouver Canucks?
Well, I think we're in trouble. The Prague loves Max Domi. Prague loves himself some Max Domi. So we might be in trouble in the chat today. He scored a goal. He had a fight. He was engaged. He was after it. We might be in trouble with Prague. I can't pull any negatives. Maybe early too many men, too many undisciplined plays, I guess. But would be the negative. The only negative I could pull from this.
Yeah, that's about it. 6 for 6 on the PK. We're going to go over the numbers. I mean, they've been downright tremendous since December 1st since Scott Laughton came back. And again, getting back to the true point here, what the hell has happened since Mark Savard got fired, man? It's 9 games. It's 7-0-2. If you don't want to phrase it that way, what has happened since Zach Phillips got together on Zach's couch and did a watch along, Vicky?
That's it. It was the Kibo sushi, man. It got the boys going, the legs going. I don't know what it is. There's no way it could only be that like they didn't like Mark Savard or something. They were trying to get Mark Savard fired. That's impossible for me. I do think it was a bit of a wake-up call, but I also do think that it went a little bit further. I don't think Brad Treliving went up to Craig Berube and said, hey, Mark Savard's fired. Everything else is fine. Like that was the issue. I believe it kind of went more like, hey, Mark Savard's gone. Your ass is next. Figure it out. Like you need to change the way this team is playing. And we've seen a different, I feel like a breakout, different exit strategy different, entries into the ozone, everything's different since that move. And I feel like it was more than just firing Mark Savard. I think there was a bit of a, hey, like, get the shit together here or you're next.
Yeah, maybe to your point, it was a wake-up call. But again, you watch this team play the way they played in this one specifically, passion, heart, desperation, purpose, all the buzzwords you can find. Max Domi drops the gloves with Marcus Pettersson. Nick Robertson's pissing off his opponents. Again, everybody pulling their weight. And that's the unique thing about this Maple Leafs team. When everybody's playing up to their capabilities, they're really, really difficult to beat. And of course, they get Jake McCabe back. They get Willie Nylander back, who was buzzing in this game. It adds different layers. And then, on top of that, Joseph Woll, the shutout, his second of the season, fourth of his career. And when you're getting that type of goaltending too, again, it was really bizarre there in the first period where they're outshot considerably, but they had 4 minors, or what was it in the first period? Yep. So like they were like 8 minutes down on the PK in the first, but I thought Joe Woll was like a nice sidebar story. Nobody's going to talk about that because they won 5 Cobb. But when you put all those ingredients together, Vic, you're probably going to win more times than not, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about the PK and we talk about Scott Laughton, but the goaltending had a lot to do with it too. I think like Joe Woll was dialed in, especially on those like little. They tried a couple wraparounds, couple in tight, and he was getting post to post really quickly there. And I do think you're right. I think again, like Hildeby last game, he was a bit of an unsung hero. He was lights out last game, and I think Joe Woll's not going to get the credit he deserves for this win too, because he really held down the fort. The guys weren't. I mean, a lot of mental errors early. I feel like he kind of held down the fort. The penalty killers did their job too, of course. Laughton, of course, again. But he shut the door, and the boys were able to get their legs going, and then they got moving. And then chance after chance, Barry.
Took care of business, and It's been few and far between so far this season. A rout victory for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Certainly will take that. At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, that's Producer Vick. I'm Nick Alberga. This is the Leafs Nation After Dark, filling in, of course, for the great Zach Phillips tonight. And make sure you get those super chats in. Make sure you get your grades of the game in, your bets of the game, anything you want to talk about, discuss tonight. The Maple Leafs now a 9-game point streak, folks, 7-0-2. In the last 9, they snap a 3-game skid here against the Canucks. The home record now at 16-5-5. They've won 7 straight at Scotiabank Arena. The vibes are very, very high for this team. In support of Sick Kids, we go to our first super chat of the night. It's our guy, Kilo James. You guys always make my night. Love you, Nick and Vic. That rhymes. We should start a show on this channel, Nick and Vic, and just talk about dumb shit. Vic, how do you feel about that?
I know something else that rhymes with Nick and Vic.
Penis?
Yes. Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Thanks, Kilo. Kilo's a bit of a troll. Kilo loves to troll Zach, so he'll say something like, Zach doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and then and then the next super chat will be like, I love Zach. I can't believe Zach. Why do you think I'm turning on you? So I like Kilo. Kilo's good. Good shit, Kilo.
I agree. Let me ask you on air, do we have the capacity of taking calls tonight? You know how I feel about calls, but I want to keep the consistency of this show.
I can try. Okay. I was shown sort of how to. I'll try to figure it out while you're on with Reach and make sure that all things are firing. And then when I get back, we'll take calls after Reach. How's that sound?
This could be the first time I've taken calls in 10 years on any platform. So
we never used to back when we worked at the other place for post
for a reason.
Yeah, for good reason, actually. But yeah, I mean, we can give it a shot for sure. Why not?
I think the last time I took phone calls, somebody called in and offered Sidney Crosby to the Maple Leafs for like David Buckenkamp, and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. So, yeah. But having said that, YouTube is a different platform. Our listeners and viewers are just top notch. We're not going to get that type of conversation.
The After Dark viewership, they're very smart hockey minds. Let's not get any, I don't know. Again, I hate to keep bringing up Prague, but yeah, let's avoid some crazy stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, let's take some calls. Why not?
Dude, I'm almost at a point where I might build a Prague shrine behind me. If you see right now, Zach Phillips behind me, that's Producer Vick in Venice. Was that prior to meeting your wife or during? Were you guys on a trip?
We had just started dating, but she was not with me in Venice. No.
Okay, well, the shrine's coming nevertheless, and we look forward to that. Again, at the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to visit theleafsnation.com if you want to catch us in podcast format anytime you please. The Leafs Nation After Dark, wherever you find your podcast, it'll pop up. You find it. Make sure you leave a 5-star review as well. Crave the Stats, a presentation of Uber Eats. Every time the Leafs play at home, you can get these exclusive deals only on Uber Eats. Firehouse Subs, Bogo Brisket Hatcher, Kibo Sushi, Bogo California Roll, Shelby Shawarma, Bogo Traditional Wrap. That's right, buy one, get one before, during, and after the game. Uber Eats is assisting every fan's hockey experience all season long. As mentioned earlier on, our very own Dan Riccio, off the roster, was down at Scotiabank Arena. We'll touch base with him a bit later on. I believe he's in the rooms right now. And I called it the Dan Riccio revenge game after he spent almost a decade in Vancouver. He comes home, rightfully so. He's ours. And how do the Leafs do it? They come out and they win 5-0 for Riccio tonight. I love that.
That's it. And a lot of the former Vancouver Canucks played pretty well. Stetcher played pretty well. OEL played pretty well. Very, very solid games from the former Canucks. All for Dan Riccio. I wonder if the Toronto Maple Leafs are still the most hated team in Vancouver. Like, we play them twice a year. There's no rivalry there. Like, I don't think about the Canucks at all. But I feel like the other way, like the hatred is just insanely intense. I don't know why, though.
I get the feel there's like 17 fan bases and teams in the league that hate the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, our friends in Edmonton hate us. Our friends in Calgary hate us. Our friends in Ottawa hate us. Our friends in Montreal hate us. I mean, Columbus probably hates us at this point, dating back to that series where they beat the Maple Leafs. So just fucking bring it. I really don't care. Again, it's still mystifying to me. I won't lie, Vic. And you started getting the passion, you and Zach, maybe a week back. I'm getting there. I'm not there just yet. I want to see how this team does now. Like, this is a pretty daunting road trip ahead. You got, obviously, Colorado. You got Utah. You got Vegas, you got Winnipeg, who's been slumping mightily. How they fare in those 4 games will sort of set me up for how I feel about this team in the second half. But you can't ignore, what we've seen the last little while. I thought this is a really consistent effort outside of, again, the minors and the penalties. And we haven't heard from Craig Berube just yet, but I'm sure he'll echo that, the discipline issues. Certainly with the opponent coming up on Monday night, I would advise them to stay the fuck out of the penalty box, or I think there could be in trouble against Nathan McKinnon and company there.
Yeah, and again, we do Leafs Morning Take Monday to Friday, and I saw a couple people in the chat because I put up a "Are we back?" poll every show now, just to get the vibe of the fan base. And I think it started at 70%, and the next time I did it, it went up to like 72, 73. So it's climbing. But I saw a couple people in the chat after I put the poll up in our last show saying we're not back until we're in a playoff spot. And you know what? I'm cool with that. I agree with that. I'm getting there. I think we're back, but I can see a lot of hesitation. I understand the hesitation from some of the fan base still, because they want to see it. They want to see it consistently and get into a playoff spot where we belong. I get it. How do you feel about that? Is that what you're waiting for too? Get in a playoff spot?
Well, it's like, are you asking me, am I going to throw a fucking party on King Street West if the Maple Leafs are in a playoff spot?
No.
The way I view it, because this team buried itself so much in the first half, like, just get back in that position where you're not going out and into the standings on every waking loss and win. Like, create a bit of separation. Just keep getting the job done, man. That's all I can say. Like, it's good they beat the Vancouver Canucks. I think they kept their foot on the pedal, which you love to see. But, like, my mindset's already to Colorado on Monday night, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I feel the same way. That's the measuring stick, right? And this had a chance to be a bit of a letdown game, and it started out looking like it might be. But again, they're finding different ways to win. I just want to ask you one thing quickly about this game. Do you think the penalty kill being so strong is leading to some of this extracurricular shit that we're seeing? Like the Domies, like, they're playing a little bit more aggressive, and I feel like it's giving them the freedom. Like, hey, if I get into a scrum, if I punch somebody in the face, if I do take the extra 2, they're going to bail me out. We're going to kill it anyways. So don't let anybody near wall, throw an extra punch, throw an extra slash, and whatever. Who cares? Let's fucking kill it.
It's a fair question. You look at the 6 minors tonight. I felt like I was watching the Sheldon Keefe Maple Leafs all over again. But then I looked at the numbers and I'm like, oh, they're tied for first in the NHL in too many men on the ice penalties. Yeah. Like, it's just the same old bullshit every year. So 2 of the 6 were too many men, a couple of ill-advised stick infractions. I was laughing in the second period, late in the second. Ref put his arm down a couple times. They probably could have taken a couple more. I think to your question, Vicky, it certainly helps when you know your PK is nails, and these guys are so dialed right now. Nick Waugh, Lorentz Lawton, that combo. We saw the clap bomb come out in the shorthanded breakaway. Good stop by Lankinen. Matthews had a couple of shorthanded opportunities. They're just in simpatico. And you can't understate sort of Carlo coming back too. I thought he had a really good night, really strong, consistent night again. That's now 3 outings for Brandon Carlo. But I don't think they're thinking that way. I think it's more so overall in the last 9, almost 10 games here, where it's like, we got to play with edge. We got to play with some gumption, some pushback. And I think that's why we're seeing the Maple Leafs play with some piss and vinegar, some snarl, man. Like, not to go back too deep to last summer, but the DNA change and how they looked at this team and how they wanted to play. I do feel like we're seeing more buy-in. Like, Matias Michelli's been very noticeable, making less mistakes, playing more direct hockey. Nick Robertson, Nicolas Wall, like, they're all jiving, and they're really, you can tell, like, exchanging texts with a bunch of people, including Adam Copeland, who guested on this show on Friday, on Leafs Morning Take, on Friday. We talked about the consistency, and like, they're really starting to mesh as a unit, and you can tell just sort of in the reaction on the bench, even to like the whole Cowan melee there in the second period too, right?
Yeah, they kind of and Zach sent us that video of Scott Lawton and in practice, and he said like they look like more like a team. And I guess I mean that could be some of it too. Like, they're just standing up for each other. And the main reason why I did ask you that question is because of what we saw Cowan do in jumping in that scrum. He was the 3rd man in, 4th man in, whatever. Usually you take the rough. You're going to get the extra 2 when you're doing that. But he didn't give a fuck. He went in there. And again, I don't know if he's thinking in the back of his mind, oh, if I take a penalty, they're going to kill it. I don't know if that's why he did it. But yeah, I mean, maybe they are starting to come together in front of us. And I don't know why it took till December 23rd to start seeing this. But again, there's so much fucking change happening. Sometimes I guess it does just take time to gel.
We're trying to find an answer. Nobody's got an answer. Nobody. I just, all I'll say is I'm very happy the way this team is playing. Okay.
Yep.
I said it on a daily basis. I didn't enjoy ripping Austin Matthews. Didn't enjoy ripping Willie Nylander and this guy and that guy. Okay. That's all I'll say. Cause you're so right. Like, back of my mind's like, where was this for 35 games? But nevertheless, we're feeling good about this Maple Leafs team right now. To your point about, Cowan, I'm not a lip reader, but Domi, they went to him on the bench, and I believe he said he's the fucking best. Like,
yes.
Number one, linesman, get the fuck out of the way, okay? Like, this is Easton Cowan and Nils Höglander. If your concern is that somebody's going to die in an NHL fight, that's not going to happen. Most of these guys have been in these kerfuffles before. I was so annoyed because imagine how jazzed that arena would have got, that bench would have got, if Cowan does in fact drop the mitts there with Höglander.
Yeah, and like you saw Domi, nothing even happened, and how jazzed he was. Like, it got the bench going. It wakes the people up. And when you see your stud rookie doing that kind of stuff, I think that kind of like goes through the entire bench. It went through the fans, actually. Like, it got the fans going, like in that goddamn barn. I was actually kind of upset at the end of the game, up 4-0, you're on the power play, and it's dead silent. Like, give me a goalie.
Mausoleum.
Give me a goalie scope. But yeah, it's like, ref, get that fuck out of the way. Let them drop their shit. Throw a couple bombs. Gets the fans going. It's hockey night in Canada. Let's see a little scrap, and then drop the puck and we go again.
Yeah, that's all it is. And I love the way Cowan's playing. Again, you can go across this roster right now. So again, the notable change, and it was the expectation. I know we made a lot about it, but Nylander comes back. He's not playing on your 4th line. I'm sorry to break that to Zach Phillips. Like, that's just not how this league works. And I think Nylander sort of put it in Zach's face tonight because he comes back. And I don't think he was particularly good in the first period. I thought he was a bit rusty. He takes that too many men in the ice penalty. You saw the glare from Craig Berube. But man, it's a subtle reminder of how good this guy is when he's on his game. Like, that was a filthy finish and great sauce pass by Lorentz, but a goal and 2 helpers, +2. Nylander was everywhere in the last 2 periods, and that's why that guy makes the big money, right?
Yeah, you should have seen. I had this chat open before.
What were they saying? Before
the game, they're calling him Willie Bystander. Get Bystander out of here. Why is this guy back? What's going on here? So on and so on. And then he just flips a switch. 1 and 2 primary assists. John Tavares looked better actually playing with him, playing alongside him. I think John Tavares missed him more than anybody. But don't knock Zach for saying he should be on the 4th line. Did you see the chemistry he has with Steven Lorentz? What's wrong with you?
That was a sick pass.
Great pass.
That was
great
like,
pass. Those
even
two.
Lorentz, like, Again, it's interesting to me that, and we joke about it, but like everybody is pulling their weight. And it
Yep.
just shows you when this team comes at you in waves and the attention to details defensively is there, the goaltending's there. And then you get a fourth line. I know Bob McMahon probably doesn't love that deployment being on the fourth line, but like even Lawrence Lawton was a dominant force again in the faceoff circle. Any team that does this in the league, it's hard to beat them when they come at you in waves. Like there's no shift where you could take a break.
Yeah, and I kind of feel for Bobby McMahon because he was playing so fucking well. And then after the Domi fight, he got the one shift with Nyes and Matthews. He was buzzing again.
Yeah.
And then he got lost again on the fourth line there. But isn't this a welcome change, Nick, man, where we're trying to get Bobby McMahon higher in the lineup rather than being like, what the fuck is he doing up there? You're like Yarncroc was obviously the guy coming out. That was easy. Like, and that's not even a decision there, but we're usually looking for people to put in. And this time we're trying to find extra minutes for guys like Bobby McMahon because he's working his ass off. We're trying to find more minutes for Nick Robertson. We're trying to find more minutes for Scott Lawton, who's your fourth line center. You're trying to find more minutes for all these guys. And I think it's just a welcome sight. Like finally the depth of this team, which is what the biggest problem with this team was going like way back. We were like too much money and just four guys, too much money and just four guys. You let one guy go and you're supposed to spread the wealth. And it looks like finally we have an actual team here with four fucking lines that can actually do some damage.
What is depth? I think it's a foreign concept in this market,
Correct.
But certainly that is a prevailing story, man. The last 10 games too is like everybody's fitting into their roles. And again, I date it back to November 20th. Scott Lawton comes back to the lineup, and I'll just throw that out there too because I remember not so long ago, Leafs Nation was so sick and tired of Scott Lawton. They're ready to trade this guy for a 7th-round pick. And Rosie's the first to say it. Stick with this guy, okay? This is Scott Lawton at his best with the Philadelphia Flyers. This is Nicolas Waugh at his best with the Vegas Golden Knights. I thought Brandon Carlo, this is Boston Bruin Brandon Carlo tonight. And you add all that together, and the recipe's probably going to be a decisive victory the way we saw in this game. Again, this is the Leafs Nation After Dark. Nick Alberga filling in for Zach Phillips, who, by the way, is in the chat. So I don't know why the fuck we're doing this show, but nevertheless, at the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I know the deal around here. I do have my smelling salts. We've hit 50 likes, so keep getting them in. And I'll keep doing my hits here. Vic, you want to say something as I do this, buddy?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with Zach. Get back in here, buddy. Woo! He was at Michigan Notre Dame for work. This is
hanging out with Red Berenson, man. There's pictures online. Like if there's a reason to miss this show, you hang out with a legend like Red Berenson. I'll okay it, Zach. So thank you.
Okay, but this is his work. This is this is work.
The sheets is work.
Yeah, I guess so. This is work, Zach. But happy to fill in for Zach. Zach's the best.
Yep.
He's always there for me when I need it. So we're a team here at the Leafs Nation.
I like that. So we got Dan Riccio coming up from Scotiabank Arena. Get his thoughts on this 5-0 victory for the Maple Leafs. Again, red hot, folks. A 9-game point streak, 7-0-2 in the last 9. They snap a 3-game skid against the Canucks. They've won 7 in a row at Scotiabank. Home record now of 16-5-5 on the season. We could even look at the out-of-town scoreboard. I don't think it's too early at this point in time. And it's a change of flavor, I would say, the last couple of years. I know I get Rosie all fired up when I brought up on the pod the last couple of years. Wake me up when it's the Stanley Cup playoffs, but I actually want to be woken up now because I don't know if they're going to get there. But out-of-town scoreboard, we got to get a sponsor for this at some point in time. Maybe it's Kibo Sushi, our friends. But Detroit beats Montreal 4-0. That's in regulation. Good news. Tampa wins, albeit they beat Philadelphia. That's in regulation, 7-2 the final. Nikita Kucherov out of this world in that game. Buffalo wins again. I had the over in that game, so I feel good, but they win 5-3. The Ottawa Senators fall short again. They lose 3-2 to the Florida Panthers. What's going on in Ottawa is the major question. Are we complaining about it? Probably not. And the big score for me, Vic, is the Pittsburgh game here, where Calgary goes in their inferior opponent, finds a way to get the job done. I know Evgeny Malkin back in the lineup as well here for Pittsburgh, but Calgary to win that game in regulation, I think big for the Leafs as they try to move their way up the standings here in the Eastern Conference. And it's just been that type of week as well. Fraser Minton and the Boston Bruins, we got the rare double hattie today for the Bees all over Johnny Lazarus' New York Rangers. What the fuck's going on with them? A 10-2 final for Boston in that game this afternoon.
Yeah, I think, how do you say his name? Hushnadinov? I think he had 4.
Murat Hushnadinov. Yeah,
I think he had
did have
4. Man, 4,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, I think it was. Hushnadinov. Who got the hat trick? I forget. Sorry. McAvoy got
Pavel
1.
Zacha.
Zacha got 3.
Yeah.
I think Pasta had 6 assists. Insane. Man, just crazy stuff. I don't know what the heck's going on in the Metro. Nobody wants to win in the Metro. Everyone in the Atlantic is just dialed, but nobody wants to win in the Metro. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think a pretty good night. No 3-point games. Love seeing the Habs lose. It's just a matter of time, I think. I think, let me know if you disagree with me, but I think it's just a matter of time before Buffalo falls off. I've seen this before from them. They always fall off. I'm just waiting for it. And what happened in the... Sorry, I missed the Panthers score.
3-2 Florida final in regulation against Ottawa. There's nothing to see in Ottawa, by the way. Just pardon the press. There is nothing to see with Linus Ullmark and the Ottawa Senators. And Matthew Tkachuk is pissed off. There's nothing to see, everybody. Okay, don't worry about it.
Nothing happened.
Nothing.
The GM is putting out press releases after random tweets. Maybe we should start doing that.
Was that AI generated, by the way, Vic?
1,000%. 1,000%.
The wording was fascinating to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should start doing that, Nick. Every time someone tweets at you, let's put out a press release from TLN, and we'll go from there. I mean, AI generate that shit too. Why not?
We'll see how the phone calls go tonight. We might need some press releases here, Zach. If you're in the chat, we are going to open up the phone lines, and I'm only talking to Prague. Me and Prague are going to make an alliance against Zach Phillips tonight. We're going to unite as one together. We're going to build a statue for Max Domi, and I know where Zach lives. I'm going to put it right in front of his door. So when he gets home on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it is, he's going to see a big fat statue of Prague and Max Domi.
Love it. I can't wait. I'm actually excited. Hopefully I can get this to work, but fingers crossed. Let's do this.
Do we have a phone number for that? Like how do you activate these?
It's just a Zoom link, and then it connects directly to us, and then people join through Zoom.
We'll do that a bit later on, though. Of course, Dan Riccio coming up, a 5-0 Maple Leafs victory, recapping here on the Leafs Nation After Dark. Nick Alberga filling in for the one and only Zach Phillips. We got a super chat to get to via our friend Vintage Joe Hill. Nice handle there, Joe. I don't know if you guys saw the Leafs blueprint on Scotty Lawton the other day, but man, sign that guy immediately. What an absolute beauty and a true glue guy that the Leafs have needed forever. To your point, Joe, people don't know this. He went to the same high school as me, so I knew this guy had the passion for a long period of time. He spent grade 9 and 10 at Holy Trinity Catholic Secondary School in Oakville, Ontario, and of course went on to greater and bigger things with the Oshawa Generals in the Ontario Hockey League. But this is a lot of what Jay Rosehill was saying, who played with Lots in Philadelphia. This is what he brings to the table. We saw the extensive video tribute the other day in the return to Philly. But I'm just so happy and glad, man, because we've seen so many examples of guys who have come home, quote unquote, and just never been able to find themselves. And the one I'll bring up, of course, is David Clarkson. But other than that, like, there's a lot of examples where guys just can't handle the heat. And it just feels like Scott Laughton has settled in. He's done his job. He's played his game. He has weathered that early storm, man. It was chaotic, the injuries. Last year after the trade, he just looked very, very lost, and he's really, really found his footing with this team.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where he doesn't have to score every night. I know he scored a huge one in Philly, but he doesn't have to score every night. He's out there. I think he hit 17 minutes again. He's doing everything this coaching staff needs him to do, and this is the reason why Brad Treliving made that move. It sucks because if we had this form of Scott Laughton in the playoffs last season, it could have been a different story, because now you're starting to see, look, we talked about the depth again, and if you're firing Matthews, Tavares, Nick Waugh has been insane as well. Great acquisition. And Scotty Laughton up the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they lead the league in face-off percentage as a team.
They do. Yeah.
And you're starting every shift with the puck. And Scotty Laughton is just absolutely on another level right now. He's finding his form. And Craig Berube, like, we talk a lot about accountability when guys are struggling. We don't really see Craig Berube bench them. But it seems like when guys do well, he finds ways to get them on the ice more. And the more ice time this guy's getting, the better he's looking. And fuck, keep it going, man. Keep it going. I couldn't be happier for the guy from Like, it's funny because Jay Rosehill is a friend of his, and Colby Cohen, who I work with at Morning Cup of Hockey, is really good friends with him too. They lived in the same building when he played in Philly. So both my hosts are really good. They're like, hey, stick with this guy. He's the best. He's the best. He's the best. He'll get it. He'll find it. And it looks like he finally found it. Love it.
I mean, not to out you, Vicky, but you were in a dark place on Scott Lawton for a long period of time.
Of course. Yeah. And I mean,
you've come around though.
Well, look, you give up a first round pick for a guy and you don't have very many first round picks going around. I wanted to see more. I don't think that's unfair. At the time of the trade, I absolutely loved it. And then I wanted to see more. Like it reminded me a little bit of the Dubas days where I think they traded a first for Brian Boyle. Then they traded a first for Nick Foligno. They traded a first for Thomas Plekanec, I believe.
Turtleneck.
I don't remember. And it's just like, why are we trading these high picks for guys who are playing 11 minutes, 10 minutes? But look at him now. This is why they traded first round pick for him, because he's playing 17 minutes, and every time he's on the ice, he's taking the puck from the D zone and he's moving it in the O zone, and then he's chipping in a little bit here and there offensively as well.
At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I just got to update my feed with the likes. Again, every 50 likes, I hit the smelling salts, as you guys see on my screen right now, just to take over what Zach does on a basis on this show. I think we need a couple more to get to 100 to get more sniff going. But the Maple Leafs, a 5-0 victory here. Again, Dan Riccio's coming up. To your point about the faceoffs, by my math, Scott Lawton up to 36-6 in the dot in the last two games, which is crazy. He went 17-5 in this game, 19-1 against the Philadelphia Flyers. But I think your elite point there was this team is so different when they're starting with the puck, and I think they're playing with a lot of speed and pace and desperation, and they're not being as dumb with the puck too. Like, the puck management has really, really changed a lot over the last couple games here.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of it does start with that. And Lawton did a lot of Fogo again today, where face-off, get-off, like a lot of D-zone draws.
I like that.
Win it. When he's on the strong side, Nick was on the ice, but he plays. Lawton comes in, takes the draw, run to the bench. Take the draw, run to the bench. I love it, and I think that the subtraction of Philippe Myers and the addition of Brandon Carlo has really solidified this. So you win the draw, and then the D is able to move the puck up the ice, where you actually have six guys now that at least most of the time I could rely on to move the puck out. Morgan Rielly obviously has had his fair share of troubles, but moving the puck out of his own zone isn't one of his biggest deficiencies, I would say. Maybe clearing the crease is one of those, but you have Morgan Rielly, Jake McCabe, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Brandon Carlo, Troy Stetcher, and Simon Benoit might be the worst of the six at just transitioning the puck, but all six guys I can count on to get the puck out. So win the draw, get it back to those guys, and out you go.
They simplified the game without question. And again, we've hit those 50 extra likes. So here I go with the smelling salts.
Beauty.
Feeling good. I got to get a new bottle, by the way. It's not hitting me as hard because I've just been doing it like crazy the last little while. But at the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You can also catch us in podcast form as well. Go over anywhere you find your podcast, the Leafs Nation After Dark. Search it. You'll find it. Make sure you leave a 5-star review. Also check out theleafsnation.com for work on this surging Maple Leafs squad. And again, they take care of business here against the Vancouver Canucks by a score of 5-0. The goals from Michelli is 7th. Domi number 5. Nylander is 15th. Tavares number 16 on the year. And I like getting in that power play goal at the end too, where it's like, boom, you could be 1 for 4, but let's do 2 for 4. And Nick Robertson, I think, really, really deserved that. There was a really fun shift there in the third period where it leads to Elias Pettersson, not to be confused with Elias Pettersson, the D-man. Elias taking the penalty because Robertson was being a fucking pest out there. And you love to see that. So they score in the power play. Again, this is going to be something we document throughout the season. But if you're keeping score at home, I know a lot of you are like us. 7 for 18 now under Steve Sullivan. And I think of note too, Vic, if I want to bring you back on air, get your thoughts on Matias Michelli staying on PP1. Like, we wondered about that. And John Tavares, again, another selfless move. Am I shocked? I will put it this way. Would they have been able to pull this stunt with Nylander or Matthews or anybody else but John Tavares? The answer is no, Vic.
No shot. No shot. And he just keeps on showing you why they brought him here. He keeps on showing like the contract, everything. This guy just bleeds blue, does whatever he needs to do to help this team move forward. And honestly, I'm okay with the decision too. I mean, I like having Michelli's dishing ability. They seem to be working it through him through the half wall. He's really, really good passer. And it's great. He drove the net today too, buried one, banged one in. I'm not expecting him to score, but I think he has 7 goals this season, all on home ice. He loves playing at the Scotiabank Arena. I almost called it the ACC. He loves playing at Scotiabank. So yeah, keep him out there. He's fresh. And if push comes to shove and the power play goes down the shitter again, you have John Tavares waiting in the wings. It has no, like, what did you say? They're 7 for 18 now. Yeah. If it starts to struggle, you have multiple options there. I love Easton Cowan and Nick Robertson's chemistry on PP2 as well. They like to move it. Get Tavares in the net front there. Those guys sling it around. OEL at the point gets the shots through all the time. I feel like that's a better fit for John Tavares, where that second unit almost likes to shoot it more, which could give Tavares a better opportunity to score with just banging one in front of the net.
Tell you what, Vic, it is the Wild West here as we approach 11 p.m. Eastern time, where we do a show normally, Leafs Morning Take, if you are aware of that, at 11 a.m. Eastern time, Monday to Friday. But you just never know what's going to come across the wire via the super chat, which you're about to get to, or just the chat in general. But our guy, Banana Cowbone 248, great handle, sends us money, so we appreciate that in support of Sick Kids. I can't stand you Jays turn Leafs fans bandwagoning. Can you explain how many pops do we think Banana Cowbone 248 has had to send us that super chat on Saturday, January 10th after a 5-0 Maple Leafs victory?
I love it. I'm a Leaf turned Jays fan actually, but that's okay. God, it's okay. It's okay. We move on. We move on.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we don't know hockey. Robert Bett, thank you so much for the super chat. We roll on here. I just had to bring Lake to that. Robert writes in, kudos for Cowan tonight, willing to drop the gloves. Great game by all, feeling better about this team. But Monday against the Avs will tell 50-plus years of being Leafs fan, I've not learned not to get anxious or get excited. You're right. Yep. Like, I don't know. I was going to get your opinion. Got a 4-game road trip. What would make you happy of those 4 games? Like, what kind of record are we looking at here, Vic? And you come away and be like, you know what? I'll live with that.
I want 3-1, but I will say this: I want this Avs game more than any. So if they end 2-2, but I get this Avs win, then I'm happy. This one's the measuring stick. This one's the one everyone's been waiting for. The Avs are a wagon, but guess what? In the past week, they have 2 losses in regulation. Who beat them? Florida, Tampa. Those are the 2. Those are the guys that we measure ourselves against throughout the season. Like, we call this a measuring stick game, but throughout the year, those are the guys we battle with in the Atlantic. Through the past, 5 years, 8 years? I don't know. When did Florida get good? Like 4 years ago, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But that's those 2 teams beat the Avalanche, and not just beat the Avalanche. I think they held them to 1 goal and 2 goals. So if you can play a defensive game and keep Nathan MacKinnon off the scoreboard, show me the Berube-style hockey, play in the ozone, and don't get walked by Nathan MacKinnon 5 times. Keep the high-flying Colorado Avalanche at bay and stay out of the fucking penalty box. That's for goddamn sure. And show me that you can be the best team in hockey right now.
Yeah, undoubtedly, I think discipline is going to be a massive story and a really, really valid point. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night. Who's to say the Leafs can't go to altitude in Colorado at Ball Arena and go in there and find a way to beat the Colorado Avalanche? But they're going to have to play their game. They're going to have to be disciplined. But hey, I'd rather this Leafs team, who's 7-0-2 in the last 9 games, square off against the best team in hockey than the one I saw prior to December 23rd with that shit-ass power play. So good vibes. We'll see how they handle it. I would add, too, like, it would be the leafiest thing ever to maybe split this road trip but beat the Colorado Avalanche. Yeah. Like, man, how good would you feel if they beat Colorado on Monday and then you got Utah, Mitchie Marner, and the Vegas Golden Knights and Winnipeg remaining on that slate?
Yeah. Okay, that's another one, too. You got to beat Vegas.
You want that one bad, eh, Vic?
Oh my goodness. That you're going to be down there, right?
I am. I'm going Wednesday, yeah.
Are you going to start some shit? Where are you sitting?
No, I'm sitting in the press box. I don't even know what I haven't
Wait, what does the
heard
press
what
box
they're
look like in Vegas, actually? Sorry to cut you off.
It's actually sweet because it's the newest type building, so you're closer to the ice than you would be, say, at like Scotiabank or like in Calgary or like wherever is like an older type building. So it's like closer to the ice. But I don't even know the protocol of what they got in place for next week. I know it's a back-to-back for Vegas. I could see them like 2 hours from puck drop being like, hey, Toronto media, come and do a scrum with Mitch Marner, because to the best of my knowledge, I've seen him do one-on-one in the last like 5 months. And it was, I think, with Danielle Bain of covers the Winnipeg Jets for TSN over making the Olympic squad. So I don't know if we'll get our hand at Mitch Marner this time or next time for that matter. And do I care? Not really, because the Leafs are buzzing.
There is zero chance that you get Mitch Marner.
Let's get him on Leafs Morning Take.
Yeah. with Jay Rosehill. I think he'd love that.
Me too. I think that'd be a perfect addition to the show to get Mitch Marner on the show with us.
Yeah. So yeah, you take down Colorado. You win the first one of that, and then Michelli revenge game. You saw how well he played against Utah the first time.
Yeah, I like that narrative.
And then Nick Waugh revenge game. And then what's the fourth one on that schedule?
Winnipeg.
Well,
Luke
nothing
Shen,
better than beating the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah. Or we trade for him before that game starts, and there you go. You got your sixth guy or your 7D in the lineup there too.
At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, as is the common protocol on this show, every 50 likes, we hit the smelling salts. I know a lot of people want me to hit some beers. Unfortunately, my fridge is empty, and shame on me, because I was really looking forward to the David Kampf revenge game. What was that late in the game, by the way, Vic? Was like he trying to get in a skirmish? Like he was holding on to Bob McMahon? Like, have you turned a new leaf since going to Vancouver and getting 3 points in 23 games?
Well, Carlo took a little run at him, and Kiefer Sherwood.
I love that.
Yeah.
Keep taking runs, man.
Kiefer Sherwood, let's not get injured here in a contract year, buddy. Just let it go. Just let it go. Yeah. I will let you reset here, Nikki. We'll be joined here in a minute by a real journalist and Dan Riccio. So,
whoa.
So reset, get those likes up, everybody. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll be right back, but with Dan Riccio.
Okay, thank you, Vic. Appreciate that. Great, phenomenal transition. That is why Producer Vick is the very best at what he does. So the Maple Leafs win at 5-0. Nick Alberga filling in here for Zach Phillips at the Leafs Nation 401. Game 44 of the 2025-26 regular season for this Maple Leafs squad, and taking care of business. I think they got one more with Vancouver early February. They're doing their annual trip out west. I'm actually going to the two Alberta games, one in Calgary, one in Edmonton, just before the Milano Olympics, and we'll see how the ice holds up in Milan as well. Just that's another crazy and chaotic story as well. But they got the Canucks on that road trip too. So bottom line, they took care of business certainly in this game. When you look at it from that aspect, a 9-game point streak. And I believe we're happy to be now joined by the aforementioned Dan Riccio, who's down at Scotiabank Arena following this 5-0 victory. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm chilling, man. Just in the Maple Leafs coach's box here, taking it over after the big win tonight.
How did it feel? So I got to ask you this off the top, and we told our listeners, I'm sure you've told your listeners as well, and off the roster, you spent a great majority of the last decade, I would say, in Vancouver. Now you're back home where you belong. How good did that win feel from the little Leafs fan in here?
It felt pretty good. I got to say, like from just a strict standpoint, like the Leafs needed this one, going to this 4-game road trip that they've got coming up this week. You needed the 2 points here against what looks to me like the worst team in hockey right now. So it's, I guess I wouldn't say it validated my choice, because the choice was always to come back home. But, it kind of does feel like maybe we got out of Vancouver at the right time, because they're headed to a pretty deep rebuild here, guys, it looks like. Whether they want to do the hybrid rebuild or whatever the hell they're calling it out there in Van right now, it's going to be a long way back up the standings for the Vancouver Canucks.
Reach, they called it the December from hell in Vancouver. I got a couple of amigos out there. I mean, Quinn Hughes goes and Dan Riccio goes. I mean, just shut off the lights. The party is over. But getting to this game, what stood out to you the most? Like, obviously, there's a lot of positivities and positive points to grab. But what was, like, the biggest storyline for you?
For me, there was like it's hard because the Leafs are just so much better than the Canucks. But what's kind of been building here for me is the middle of the ice. Like now that they've got Matthews, Tavares, Nick Waugh, and Scott Laughton all healthy, there's just not many teams across the league that are that deep through the middle of the ice. And you could tell, like, okay, David Kampf is center, like the second line center here for Vancouver. So this is like one of the better teams through the middle against the worst team through the middle. And the Leafs just own the middle of the ice. And this whole stretch here since Christmas, now that they've got these guys healthy, it just felt like they've owned the middle of the ice. They own the face-off dot. They own possession that way. And this developing for the team has ultimately been what Brad Treliving's vision of the squad was, that they'd be built through the middle. And now that they're all healthy, you can see it starting to come to fruition here.
You look like $1 million. How much would I have to pay to wear a wife beater in that press box next time you're there?
Listen, I was sitting, like William Nylander was doing his post game, and I was like, "Where's the canottiera, man?" Canottiera is just an Italian word for the tank top. But it was, I kind of feel like maybe I should just take the suit off and go full canottiera right now for post game.
But man,
that won't be happening here. That won't be happening.
No,
I don't care how many likes
won't.
we get on the YouTube channel. It won't be happening.
Well, that is a fact. But what I'm getting at is, like, I don't care what this guy wears when he plays that way. And it was just so great to see him in the lineup. I know a lot of Leafs Nation was concerned, like, shit, you bring Nylander back, what's this team going to look like? But, man, like, just it was just like a appreciation of what this guy truly is when he's on top of his game. I thought the second half of that game, he was outstanding and just adds a different layer when he's back in this lineup, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have nightmares about that miss. But I think for the most part, like, Willie was the Willie you expect, right? And that's what this team needs. The way he is on the power play, the way he is, adding another element to John Tavares' game and getting JT, I mean, Zeev Buium maybe had a bigger helper on that goal than William Nylander did. But in the end, JT needs, well, I wouldn't say needs, but their chemistry works off each other, and that's why they've played so many minutes together. And it just lengthens the lineup. You get another star player back. I was kind of curious about, Craig Berube's choice to go with Michelli and Nylander as Tavares' wingers and move Nyes back up to the top line. But, everything worked tonight, right? So with Willie back, hopefully he can stay healthy. It just feels like every time they've gotten close to healthy, there's another speed bump down the line. Hopefully they can kind of carry this a little bit and be able to continue building, because as we see with the standings, it doesn't matter how many you win in a row, it just feels like you're kind of just keeping pace with everybody right now in that wild card race.
Again, I'm joined by Dan Riccio of Off the Rosters down at Scotiabank Arena following this 5-0 Maple Leafs victory here. It's a 9-game point streak for the Buds. You were down in the room after this game. What were they saying about the 6 minor penalties, including 2 for too many men on the ice?
Craig Berube loves the PK right now. That's pretty much his wording. Joseph Woll absolutely in love with the PK and in love with how the Leafs have kind of leveled up as far as the extracurriculars go after whistles. They certainly weren't allowing any Canucks to get into Woll's grill. I know that was a big storyline with Stolars earlier this year, and Brandon Carlo maybe not protecting his netminder the way that you would like a big defenseman to, but that wasn't an issue tonight. Anytime they were in and around Woll, the Leafs were there to protect him, whether it was Easton Cowan or whomever on the roster. Those are all big deals for this team right now. That was definitely a big part of the conversation. And the other one was Max Domi. Tail of the tape, 6'5" Marcus Pettersson. He's got the reach easily on Max. But the thing he didn't expect in that fight was Max Domi going full southpaw. So Matias Michelli mentioned that post-game, and also Craig Berube even mentioned it after the game as well, saying that he doesn't think he ever went with a lefty punch in any fight that he ever had through his career, and he was one of the best heavyweights in his generation. So good on Max. We didn't know he was ambidextrous in that way, but he proved it tonight, and I don't think Marcus Pettersson was too happy after that fight was done anyways.
You're right, 6'5" against 5'10", and I just love that Domi's got that screw loose sometimes where it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly who his father is, of course, Ty Domi. And I think a big prevailing, comment and question coming out of this weekend, because we found out on Saturday too, Anthony Stolarz is suddenly entering the chat, if you will, and he's going to hit the road with these guys. I know it's early to talk about this, but there's a lot of examples around the league. Among them right now, the Montreal Canadiens have a 3-goalie system. What would you do if you're Brad living in the Leafs if, Stoley comes back in, say, a week or two and Hildeby's playing the way he is right now?
I think you have no choice, unfortunately, but to send Hildeby down back to the Marlies. He doesn't deserve it, obviously, with the way that he's played, but I think that's the best way that you manage your assets right now. Hildeby's given you options in the future, but you have those options. You don't have to make a decision right now. You play this out. And the best thing that can happen for the Leafs is Woll keeps playing like this. Stolarz finds some of the form that he had earlier in the season, and you don't have to run him into the ground in the way that they did early this year. They can, flip starts the way that they have between Woll and Hildeby with Woll and Stolarz. And ultimately, that's going to give Brad Treliving in the front office more options with their goaltending. So the best choice, unfortunately, for everybody outside of Dennis Hildeby is to make that decision with the roster.
I'll be interested, too, to your point. We get to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and we know things a bit different this year with the salary cap. If we see teams dressed like a third-string goaltender who makes like $1 million just to adhere to the cap, I think that's an added wrinkle this year, too. And what I'm intimating is, if the Leafs make the playoffs, maybe there's a game or two where Hildeby's the backup just because he makes less money than a Woll or a Stolarz. But something to document for sure. Just wrapping up here with Dan Riccio of Off the Roster, who's down at Scotiabank Arena following this 5-0 Maple Leafs victory. I asked producer Vic this. Now I'll ask you, what's a good road trip look for you in your eyes? A 4-game roadie. You got Colorado, you got Utah, the Michelli revenge game, his return there. Then you got the Marner game in Vegas and Winnipeg. Well, what do you want that record to look like?
At least 2-2. It's a tough roadie. You look at it from the schedule's perspective: 4 games in 6 nights, 4 cities in 6 nights, through all different kinds of travel. I think they're going to rack up something around 5,000 kilometers of air travel on this one trip through these 4 games. The contrast of Monday's game is kind of interesting to me because tonight, the third period, it felt like shinny. It was just like the Leafs putting the puck into open ice and trying to run down the clock. The Canucks weren't offering much of a competition, and you're going to go from that to the best team in hockey, and Nathan MacKinnon, who's just been an absolute freak this year. So I think Monday is going to be a really tough adjustment for the Leafs. They're feeling good, they're feeling confident, but just when you're feeling confident might be when you get punched in the mouth, and Colorado would be the team to do that with the way they're playing this year. From there, I think 2-2 is what you got to look at. Hopefully you can find a way to beat Utah even on the second half of a back-to-back, and then steal one of those final 2 games of the roadie. There's going to be money on the board, probably on both sides for the game in Vegas. Find a way to go 2-2. You've done so well over this stretch. What is it? They've collected 16 of a possible 18 points over the last 9 games. That's given you at least, it's allowed them to go 2-2 on this road trip and not be too hurt by it. Whereas if they don't win as much as they have lately, they don't have the same sort of leash to be able to go 2-2 and regroup after this tough road trip. But 2-2 would be the bare minimum. Anything after that would be absolute gravy for this club.
Yeah, that's exactly it. This was a necessity. It was mandatory. If the Maple Leafs were going to get back in the playoff conversation, they had to go on a lengthy run like this. And lastly, what's coming up and off the roster this week?
We got a ton coming up this week. Natalie Spooner is going to join us on Monday, fresh off being named to Team Canada. Her 4th Olympics is coming up here, and hopefully Canada can bring back gold on the women's side as well. So Natalie Spooner on Monday. We're hoping to connect with Vernon Wells later in the week as well. So there's going to be a ton of big names on Off the Roster again this week.
Fantastic stuff, and I think you're going to react to the Alex Bregman signing with the Chicago Cubs as well, what that means for Tucker and company moving forward here in the MLB market. That is slower than molasses, by the way. It's first pitch is around the corner, and nobody wants to sign. Bo Bichette's like, I don't know, at his honeymoon or something, but Reach, great job today. You look awesome, buddy, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Take it easy, Nick. See you, Vic.
Take care. That's Dan Riccio of Off the Roster. Make sure you check that out over on the Nation Network YouTube channel. They do a phenomenal job. And I'm a baseball guy as well, so keeping tabs on that. And I wonder what that means for the Blue Jays. And I know some of you in the chat alluding to us, you think we're just Jays fans talking hockey. So appreciate that from Dan Riccio. Hopping by here from Off the Roster at the Leaf Station 401. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Also available in podcast form. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review. It's the Leafs Nation After Dark. Nick Alberga filling in for Zach Phillips, who is on location in Michigan with the Sheets' Jeff Merrick. They're doing some shows out there, hanging out with Red Berenson, the legend, tonight, going to the Wolverines game. I believe they'll be at the Sergei Fedorov jersey retirement night for Detroit coming up, which should be a monster night. And I'll just put this out there. We better see those white Nike skates at some point in time. I don't know if there's a signed copy of those skates, but like that is the lasting image in my mind of Sergei Fedorov, is those skates and how flashy and dashy he looked. But again, if you're just tuning in, the Maple Leafs a 5-0 victory here, game 44. This is your recap, the Leafs Nation After Dark, and feeling really, really damn good about life as they get set to hit the road for 4 in a row. And we know the story with this team, really good on home ice, not so great on the road. That must change if they're going to have to keep things going here. A 9-game point streak, 7-0-2 in the last 9 games, and they're going to miss Scotiabank Arena. I don't remember the last time I said that. They've won 7 straight games at Scotiabank. Producer Vic, you back in the mix here? How are we feeling? We back here, Vicky? I don't know what Vicky's doing behind the scenes.
I'm back, but I'm trying to get this Zoom set up, and I'm struggling. So
no problem. Yeah, if you missed it earlier on, there's Vic back on the screen. That's Producer Vic. That's not Drake, the great rapper, by the way. Somebody in the chat, by the way, said you need a haircut, Vic. I just wanted to put that out there for you. You ever heard that one before?
No, never. No one ever.
I told you, this is the Wild West, Vicky. I know you and I are used to daytime coverage, 9 a.m., for Morning Cup of Hockey, 11 a.m. for Leafs Morning Take. It is the Wild West on YouTube, approaching 11 p.m. Eastern Time on a Saturday night in January, mind you.
It's so funny. The first or second thing anybody ever says to me is that I'm bald. Like I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I have thick eyebrows, Vic.
Yeah, I know. No one's ever told you that. No one's ever told you have thick eyebrows before, have they?
No, I can't believe this. I'm just reading Twitter as well. Adam Foote says Thatcher Demko suffered a lower body injury in the first period. Will be reevaluated over the next few days. Just call it a career, Thatcher Demko. Like I sort of like. I didn't joke about it in my game preview, which I'm sure you watched because I spent 15 minutes on it during the day here, Vic. Yeah. But I talked about Demko and Woll and the issue with both those guys. They can't stay healthy. And Eureka, this guy plays 1 period and it's like, see you later. You know how I feel about goalies, man. I'm at wit's end. Like this league honestly wants to expand to 34 teams when guys can't stay healthy and every team's got a 3-goalie system already. Like, I know we joke that you were the e-bug in Montreal, but like, dude, we're an injury away from you being the guy they call in. You're probably still hacking a dart outside. And they're like, Vic, you were backing up tonight, man. Yeah. And it's funny because if there was any time he heard it, it would have been stretching out to try and stop Willie on that break there. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. But I mean, without Lankinen in there, who looked like the better goalie, like he was great. He was incredible. This game would have been in 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. Matthews had the 2 chances shorthanded. The Lawton breakaway. Lankinen was great. So I don't know what the next move is with Demko. I thought maybe if he was healthy, which is very rarely, I thought he'd have an outside shot at the Olympic team. But he just cannot stay on the ice. And hopefully he stays out of the news, unlike the goalie in Ottawa. I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing to see in Ottawa either. But I'll let you get back to your coverage and search. All right, read some super chats or something. Let me try and figure this out. Yeah, so I can take some Zoom calls here on the Leafs Nation After Dark. This should be phenomenal stuff. Banana Cowbone 248. He's at it again. I love this guy, man. He's on a mission tonight, and I appreciate that. I'm assuming it's a he or a she or maybe both. Who knows? Just funny how you both stream after a statement win. I don't know. You've been watching, I think, since the start of the show. I think I've said it 17,000 times. We're filling in for Zach Phillips, who is on assignment this weekend. So that's why we're streaming. The Leafs Nation After Dark streams after every Maple Leafs game. And I'm biased. I think it's the best recap show out there, featuring the one and only Zach Phillips. So appreciate the super chat there. JD Anderson comedy. He's not really that funny, regardless of his handle, but he says Vic looking like the dude from Coneheads with an emoji. JD, I'm just kidding. We love you. And Kilo, I like this one a lot. I'll pay you after the show. I like Nick a lot. Some people are softer than baby poo. Again, I think everybody's entitled to their opinion on this team. I think it's so interesting covering the Maple Leafs because on a daily basis, you're going to be able to fight with somebody, whether it's somebody who thinks Calle Jarnkrok is the best player in the world or Bob McMahon should be on the first line. And that's what makes covering this team so damn riveting on a daily basis. But I think we can all come together and agree when the Maple Leafs are winning, regardless of you love crunching your calculator or you just love the passion, you feel good. It's a different feel. Like, you almost use that expression, you want to show up for work. But Vic can attest to this. Like, doing Leafs Morning Take has become much easier since our great time on Zach's couch, the casting couch, doing the watch along on December 23rd, because this team's winning and winning and winning. And Vic, like I said with Dan Riccio of Off the Roster, this was a necessity. It was mandatory that they go on a run like this. And this has to continue, by the way.
Yep. Just before I get to that, I just want to say I think I figured it out. So the Zoom link is pinned in the chat. Let's give it a shot. Let's try to take some calls. And I forget what question you asked me, so I'm sorry because I was so focused on the Zoom call.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was just sort of re-racking here. At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, so 5-0 win for the Leafs. The goal scorers, Michelli is 7, Domi number 5, Nylander 15, Tavares 16, Robertson number 10. So Willie Nylander comes back. It's a goal and 2 helpers after they go 4-0-2 with him out of the lineup. And Jake McCabe's the one that surprised me because, Vic, we know what day-to-day means in this market. If the Leafs get to the Stanley Cup playoffs, I know I'm wearing the Now We Go t-shirt. I think they're still available. This is going to be rebranded, and it's going to be one of 2 sayings. Maybe we'll release like 2 of them if they make the play. It's a big F right now, in my opinion, if they make the playoffs. It's either premature webaculation or day-to-day. I mean, I think you got to take your – like, those are my 2 submissions for a playoff slogan if the Leafs get the playoffs.
Let's do it. I like both of those. Premature rebaculation is one of my favorite things ever. What
would the picture look like? Would we have a picture for that?
Maybe the bleed blue t-shirt again.
Because that looked like something else.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't look like blood. You are so right. Anybody out there listening and watching, if you own a bleed blue playoff tarp, our apologies. We have needed some improvement in that side of the business, and we are getting there. And again, I really like these Now We Go t-shirts. As you guys notice, I'm wearing them quite a bit. So Nylander back, McCabe back. He was a tower of power, which is unsurprising at that. So Phil Myers leaves the lineup. And ideally outside, of course, of Chris Tanev not playing, like, this is a pretty damn good back end. And that's why the Maple Leafs took care of business in this game. Joseph Woll was good. Again, like, a lot of penalties, 6 minors for the Maple Leafs in this game. Like, I didn't think they were outplayed or anything. They took it to Vancouver. I think naturally when you're down a guy for as much as they were, 12 total minutes of ice in this game, you're going to surrender some shots. But I thought Joe Woll made some good saves. His 2nd shutout of the season, 4th of his career. Now 7-0-1 in the last 8, 8-1-1 in the last 10. The power play, as I mentioned earlier on, always great to get like that late power play goal to make it 5-0. Like, a goal you won't remember, but again, comes to a guy who always needs offense, and that's Nick Robertson, 2 for 4 in this game on the power play. Now 7 for 18 under Steve Sullivan, so you love to see that. And the PK has been a monster story, Vic, for ever since, I would say, November 20th, where Scott Loudon comes back from the last injury he had, and they've been dynamite. Since December 1st, 40 for 43. They were 6 for 6 in this game tonight. They've killed off 57 of the last 62 power plays. And I think they showed the graphic on the screen in the broadcast of the last 9 or 10 games. They're number 1 on the PK and like number 6 in the NHL on the power play. And that's why they have a 9-game point streak right now, Vicky.
Yeah. And like I said before, I feel like it's getting them the confidence to play a little more on the edge. It's giving them a little more confidence to play more loose, more in your face, more Craig Berube. Is it just Scott Laughton? Like, what the fuck? Brendan Carlo has been incredible as well. Like, can we just give him a little kudos as well? Like, he's made Morgan Rielly playable. I know Morgan Rielly's been on the shit end of the Leafs fans list at all points all season long. He's been rough. He's had some rough stretches. But let's not forget that he was playing with Philippe fucking Myers for half the season. That guy is unplayable. He's not an NHL defenseman. And Carlos come in and through 3 games, Morgan Rielly looks like he's at least playable. So I know he's helped the penalty kill a lot. He's helped Morgan Rielly a lot. And through all of this, I don't know. Is it just Scott Laughton on the penalty kill or do you think Brandon Carlo's helped? The goaltending has helped. It's a little bit of everybody, I think, honestly.
And I think they're keeping the opposition in check too, where they're a legitimate threat to score. Like we saw Scott Laughton, again, this is a big story we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. He is playing so well, so engaged. He had the clap bomb on the breakaway, got stopped. Lankinen made a great stop, but like Matthews, when the other team knows that you're a threat to provide offense, it reminded me a lot of Montreal's PK last year and watching that team quite a bit, is like there's such a threat that's always in the back of your mind. And I think that's what's adding fuel to this fire for the Maple Leafs is like they're getting the goaltending, they're getting the puck out first and foremost. Like how many times in the first half of the season, and there was a couple of examples of games they lost points in late regulation because they couldn't clear the puck. So the puck management has really, really changed. They simplified things that is extended to the power play. You want to throw in Troy Stetcher. I think it was kind of intriguing too, Vic, that the 4-on-3, it was Stetcher and Carlo out there. 2 right-handed shooting defensemen. I noticed that too.
Yeah, and Stetcher's been he deserves all the credit in the friggin' world. I trust that guy on the ice in any situation right now. It's just incredible to see the difference. And I like to see, like you said, the PK cost him a few games, but I like to see the power play as well. Like we've seen a few games that they lost based on just their power play being dog shit. So hopefully if you get special teams, the 5-on-5 play seems to have settled in as well. They look like a well-oiled machine, and I'm starting to fucking believe again. And
they're dragging us back in. Vic, I think the great thing about you is your versatility, and we have to get to something on this show before we get to your phone calls or attempt to get to your phone calls here. Our guy, Banana Cowbone 248, has chimed back into the chat, and we need some life advice here, Vic, okay? And you're the guy to point at. You're happily married. Your wife's phenomenal. You got a kid on the way. Great. I'm not a relationship guy. We all know this. But Banana Cowbone, I apologize. I was beaking him a bit earlier on for giving it to us a bit. Sorry for my chats via Super Chat. He says, I got dumped today and been upset. Well, firstly, sorry. What advice would you give to him, Vicky?
God, where do we even go here? I was going to be even
hang in there. No. And I think I'll just add, appreciate you spending your breakup with us here over at the Leafs Nation. Like hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.
That's what I mean. I feel like that's why he's being rude to us, is because he's been hitting the drink after again.
I don't want to, I know, who knows? Everybody handles things differently. I don't want to say Banana Cowbone has hit the bottle a bit. He could be the one to vouch for that or not. But nevertheless, I think he is in better spirits, as best spirits as he can be after this day that ended, of course, in a breakup, as he just brought up in our chat. Let's bring
it back to hockey. The Toronto Maple Leafs broke up.
You're not going to give advice?
Yeah, no, I'm going to. The Toronto Maple Leafs broke up with David Kampf, right? I'm sure he was really, really sad in the moment.
Yes.
But look at this. He went from a 4th-line center to a 2nd-line center, all in a matter of weeks. So get your chin up, turn that frown upside down.
You could be an Olympian too.
You can be an Olympian too. And go from a 4th-line center, which you may have been with already because you don't need her, and move up and date yourself a 2nd-line center. All right.
Well, firstly, how dare you accuse, like, who knows who he's dating? It could be anybody. Like, you can't pick a gender.
Yeah, I apologize. Yes, I apologize.
Yes.
Our apologies, your partner is.
yes, very well put. But Banana Cowbone, appreciate it. Hang in there. I think that's a really excellent analogy. Who knows? Maybe you upgrade. Maybe you upgrade. You always got to think that way. That's the way I think about it. When stuff ends for me, maybe I can upgrade. Maybe I can get that play and upgrade, hit the jackpot. So bear with us. Maple Leafs win 5-0. We're feeling good.
I can't figure out this Zoom. I don't think it's working.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Apologize.
It's all good. It's all
yeah, I need another refresher here with Zach when he's back. Apologize, fans. I know we love the chat. The phone calls become a big part of the After Dark show.
Yeah.
Accountability here. I wasn't good enough today. I will be better next time.
It's totally okay, Vic. We got a lot to talk about. Tom Robbins, thank you so much for your super chat. Need these games as it's going to get tough real fast soon. You're right. JRock12, one of our favorites over at least want to take watches all our contact, has a couple of super chats. Late to the party. I missed the Nick and Vic magic. Appreciate that. Great win, he says. Nice to see Willie back. Wool looks good. And again, that is the prevailing story for me is like team. Every way of the word there is how this team is playing right now. They're playing like a team, Vic.
Can I tell you something about J-Rock? I love J-Rock. Did you know J-Rock is a St. Louis Blues fan that has adopted the Toronto Maple Leafs as his second favorite team because of one, Craig Berube, and two, St. Louis boy Joseph Woll. So happy to have him in here. He supports all the Leafs content. Love J-Rock. And yeah, and look, his two guys, a lot of people were down on both those guys, Craig Berube and Joe Woll. People were all Stolars. I'm actually seeing a lot of Hildeby love lately too. How do you feel about that? So you asked Dan about that. What do you do with the goaltending coming up here?
Dude, how do you send Dennis Hildeby to the American Hockey League?
That's what I'm saying.
How do you do it? Like I again, knowing what we know about these goalies, I think a perfect atmosphere for a 3-goalie system is Toronto.
Yeah.
Like we talked about the great Glenn Hall passing away in the 502 consecutive starts, but I am not kidding. Like I get concerned when Joe Woll starts more than 2 games in a row. I feel the same way about Stoley. So just keep rolling, man. Bring up a fourth if you want. Bring Akhtyamov up too.
Yeah, and I
have a rotation like the Blue Jays.
I hate it because I'm not a speculation guy, but there's no, like we talk about it a lot. Like Tree doesn't have a lot of ammo to use when it comes to making moves. I'm afraid that this is, and I like, who do you get rid of? Because I think the writing's on the wall here. One of these guys isn't going to be here either next year or the year after. It's just a matter of time before we. Sorry, J-Rock. I just saw J-Rock with another super chat. I adopted the Leafs in 2020. I don't know why the fuck you would do that, but okay, wow, sure.
That's a tough time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why the hell you would do that, but anyways, yeah, one of these guys is not going to be here next year. So, which is the guy?
You think that way, though?
I do. I really, really do, because you always have to deal from a position of strength. How many teams are there that are still looking for a goaltender they can count on? You said it yourself. Everybody is going down. They go down like every single night. You see another goalie go down every single night. And
I think you have to work from a position of strength. I know where you're coming from, but what's the first thing that happens if they trade a Hildeby? What do you think's going to happen? We're not going to, like, one of these guys is going to, I don't know, he's going to go to Cuba and not come back. It's been such a fascinating season for me when it comes to the crease, and it brings a newfound appreciation. Man, we've been looking like, How long has it been since the Maple Leafs had a crease where you felt this good about it? And again, I know there's been ups and downs, but still, when these guys are healthy, they're making saves, which is a far cry from, list dog shit goalie after dog shit goalie. I'm not going to single any guy out.
Freddie was steady for a few, but again, he was another guy that look at him in Carolina. You never knew when he was going to go down again.
Yeah.
And it's the same shit. He was great. I loved him. You didn't have to worry about him during the regular season for the most part. He was going to start for you. But yeah, since maybe Ed friggin' Belfour, I don't know if there's a goalie that I could legitimately count on. We had this stretch there with Jaguar, and I think Reimer was there too as his backup maybe for a little bit. Yeah. I don't remember if I'm.
This is good. Hi, Andrew Tate, says Luke.
Sup?
I feel like you have so many doppelgangers, man. People just love talking about you.
Bald with a beard, like what the fuck? I don't know what to do.
There's one guy, I don't know who it is. He always talks about you wearing a cap or something. Like a
Vic small hat, Vic small hat, Vic small.
Yeah, he
Vic
talks
small
about
hat.
your. I don't know, man. Like we need some new material, new content. Maybe it's just like all the games over the years.
Isn't it crazy though? Like Dennis Hildeby has 11 starts only, but he's played in 16 games. And Joseph Wall, this was his 17th game. Where the fuck is this team without Dennis Hildeby? Where the fuck are they? Now you're just going to send him down because, I don't know. Like, did you see the footage of Stolarz in pre-practice taking shots?
Yeah.
He doesn't look anywhere close to ready right now. So I hope. No, I don't think we see him before the Olympics. That's for sure. And
so what, you think he's just making the trip for the hell of it, like getting practice time?
Yeah. I think so.
Or where they're going. Right? Maybe he wants to catch up with Mitch, go to Mitch's house for dinner.
Well, why rush it right now, right?
Yeah.
Get him to not 100%. Get him to 110%. What's the deal? Why rush him back in? He hadn't skated until like last week. He was day to day on my birthday, I think in November. I think November 11 when he's got hurt. May have even been before that. Why rush him now?
Yeah, the thing I'll add too is like you kick that can down the road, and you guys can interject if you want at the Leafs Nation 401 on YouTube what you would do in that scenario if it comes to a point where Stolarz comes back. But I could definitely see like Stolarz coming back, and it's like, boom, this guy's got a lower body injury. But on top of that, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Hildeby sign a 3-year deal? In the first 2 years, he was eligible to go down to the AHL without waivers. I think it was year 3 that it was a one way.
Yeah, I do believe you're correct on that. They have him locked in long term, but a guy like that, I feel like they use as trade bait. I honestly do. It sucks to say, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think Stoli has any trade value right now, and he's locked in. So I don't think you're moving Wall. He's been the face of this. I've heard Carey Price comparisons since the day they brought Joseph Wall in here, and that leaves Dennis Hildeby, and it sucks. He's signed till 27, 28, and then he's an RFA again. He has the most value of the three, I think, right now.
Brad still writes in, is there calls tonight in the queue? No, sorry, Brad, if you missed it. We are, again, filling in for Zach, and we can't figure it out, so our apologies. Zach's going to be back on Monday to recap the Game 45 Leafs and Avalanche from Ball Arena, so that's coming up on Monday. But I think, man, call this a hot take, and there's just so much that can change. But I think Joseph Wall's the guy I trade, man, assuming full health. I will say it's a positive point that we're talking about this on January 10th, and 2, Dennis Hildeby has value again. Like, he had a good year 2 years ago. Last year he wasn't very good.
Do you remember the tan last year?
Yeah, that dude. Do I remember the tan? I was there in the press box. I walked by this guy, and I'm like, "There's no way this guy is going to be thrown into action." He had the killer tan from Fort Lauderdale. So yes, I remember the tan. It was like Zach Phillips eye tan from Portugal. Yeah. That's the kind of tan we're talking about. But I think it's great, regardless of what happens, that the trade value is back for Dennis Hildeby. I don't think anything like that's happening in season. I think you want depth at that position. Down the road, again, assuming full health, assuming that Stoli comes back and he's the guy that we saw for the majority of last season, I think Joseph Wall is the guy I would trade. But he's my favorite. I don't know who's trading for Dennis. Like, Dennis Hildeby would be part of a package to get. Yeah. I can't even name a player right now. Like, he would be part of a package to get a guy where Joseph Wall could be a guy that you do 1-for-1 to get somebody, if that makes sense.
I hear you. That's a great point. But Wall's my guy, and Wall's my guy. Wall's been my guy. I feel like Wall has the most.
Well, he's always hurt, Vic. I'm sorry to break it to you. He's always. True. I don't trust the guy. I do not trust him.
I get that. I got a chat here. Someone in the chat said Stoli definitely has value. I said he doesn't have value right now. Am I wrong? I don't think he has any value right now. What value does a guy who just signed an extension and then hasn't played a game in months, and again, the biggest flaw he's had in his entire career is that he can't stay healthy, and now again he's not healthy. Who is trading you? Who's giving you anything valuable for that? Okay, let's turn the page here. Let's look at the guy tonight. Are you giving Vancouver anything of value for Thatcher Demko right now, who's been a better goalie than Anthony Stolarz throughout his career? Are you giving him? Are you giving them anything and taking on Thatcher Demko? Absolutely fucking not. So why would you do it for Anthony Stolarz?
In my trust meter, it would go like least to most trust. Like least would be Demko. Wall would be number 2, Stoley would be number 3, and Hildeby I trust the most. Like again, it's not just the Toronto problem across this league, man. Outside, even Shesterkin's here right now, but Vasilevsky's a guy more years than not. He's there. Like I do feel like it's a survival of the fittest when you get to the Stanley Cup playoffs because you just have no clue who's showing up and stopping the puck for you, any team for that matter.
It's crazy because I'm like you trust Stoley more than Wall, and I trust Wall more than Stoley. It's just like it could come down.
The highest ceiling by far is Joseph Wall. Yeah. I just don't trust the guy. Every time I get sucked in, he goes missing for 2 months, or he has a tweak, or it's not just the Leafs thing. It's unfortunate because I love him. He's a really good guy. We've interviewed him a couple times. He just can't stay healthy, and it's concerning to me that we got to play this whole tap dance game where we can't. We're concerned if this guy's making more than 3 starts in a row. And that's the point we're at right now. I'm sorry to break it to everybody.
That's totally fair. And honestly, at the end of this, it could be that. It could be the difference between if Brad Treliving feels the way I feel or if Brad Treliving feels the way you feel. And then that's who gets moved. And that's who, like, we're 2 guys sitting here watching every single night. And we have 2 completely different opinions on who we trust more. So who knows what Brad Treliving's thinking right now.
At the Leafs Nation 401, where you can like it, subscribe. The Maple Leafs a 5-0 victory here in Game 44 of the regular season. A 9-game point streak, 7-0-2. They snap a 3-game skid here against the Vancouver Canucks. They've won 7 in a row on home ice. The home record now up to 16-5-5. Willie Nylander back, a goal and 2 assists plus 2 in this game. Jake McCabe comes back too, which is a bit of a surprise. Looked very, very sharp. The power play 2 for 4. The PK 6 for 6. The only negative you can draw from this game, discipline issues. They took 4 minors in the first period, 2 of which were too many men on the ice penalties. But other than that, really, really impressive win for the Maple Leafs and exactly what they needed to do. Just take care of business. It never hurts to have points night the way tonight transpired. We'll have our best bets coming up, but I was a bit disappointed. I did play a specific guy to score, and he was buzzing and had many, many opportunities shorthanded. 5-on-5 on the power play, couldn't tuck, but it has to feel good across that room tonight after this game when you get offense the way they did, Vic.
Yeah, how did you feel about that top line 5-on-5 with Bobby going back down? I thought they were, Domi did get the goal, but I don't think they were buzzing as much. Matthews' best chances, if I remember correctly, came shorthanded. I don't know if they generated much 5-on-5. I don't remember a shift where they looked super dangerous. Again, Domi got that 1 goal short side on Demko there, but I don't remember much. I don't think they were as dangerous as they have been.
Well, they're on the penalty kill the whole game. That's why.
That's a great point too, and I think that's why Matthews did end up getting that 1 shift on the penalty kill where he did almost bury a couple times because he was losing his spot in the regular rotation with all the penalty kills, but. That could honestly be it. They couldn't really find any rhythm with so much shorthanded time. But I don't know. I kind of like that line with Bobby McMahon. I did.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I hear you. And that's, again, it's a good problem to have. I understand people are annoyed, and I don't even know if pissed off's the right wording, but this is a good problem. And this is what they envisioned for this Maple Leafs team, potentially in like a playoff run, is having that depth. Again, it's going to be a grind to get there. But feeling good about this team. If you have the luxury of having a Bob McMahon who's got 13 goals and on pace for around 30 goals this season on your 4th line, like I always bring up Alex Steen, who's about to become the Blues GM next summer, taking over for Doug Armstrong. And I hope he didn't give Broberg that contract. I hope it was Armstrong and not Steen. But like he was on the 4th line for the Blues when they won the Stanley Cup with Chief. So I view it differently, where I understand McMahon probably plays less. Lawton plays less, but if you're rolling 4 lines and coming at the opposition in waves, it's tough to defend. You can't take a shift off if you're teams like Vancouver or whoever you play.
Yeah, and you know what? That makes a lot of sense, and it seems to be Craig Berube's thing to do, but I want them to make sure that they are rolling 4 lines. What are you laughing? Something in the
We
chat?
gotta wrap this show, man. Cass writes in super chat too. Thank you, Cass. Shouldn't laugh at this. Any advice for a low self-esteem 26-year-old male, 6'1", 283? I hope you're kidding, man. Like, I didn't want to be Ricky Lake or Maury Povich tonight, and hopefully some of you understand that reference in the 90s. We had one dude come in here hot
stuff.
and bothered and chirping us, and then he goes on to add that he broke up with his girlfriend or whatever. He got out of a relationship today, and he was in a bad mood. But now we've just opened up a can of worms here, Vic. We're relationship counselors, I guess.
Find your 2C, Banana Man. And Cass, any advice for low self-esteem? Just keep watching this show because the Leafs are buzzing.
Yeah, I think we might have to introduce a new segment on Leafs Morning Take where it's just like ask Vicky.
Nicky Lake or Vicky Lake.
Vicky Lake, yes, yes. We'll have a Vicky Lake segment maybe to go over that McDavid tracker that we had, I think, for one show on this year. Yeah, that was a tough one. Before we wrap and get into our play of the game, grade of the game, and recap our best bets, where do you stand like on the trade front? Like, I'll be honest. Again, vibes are higher for me. I think you're more in than I am right now on this team. I need it longer. But I'm borderline concerned that Brad Treliving is going to go out there and swing and blow his load. And, I think some form of prospect's going to leave, whether it's a Danford or a Helenka or somebody like that. And they're going to try to go get an Anderson from Calgary or whomever. And it concerns me a bit considering what we just saw in the first half of this season. How would you break that down?
Look, what I would say is, why change what's working? If this team can get healthy, and I don't know if they'll ever get fully healthy without Chris Tanev, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. And it looks like they're finally starting to gel. You're going to get your trade deadline help in the bottom 6 when Dakota Joshua comes back from his kidney injury. Yep. Why waste any more assets? And that's another thing that I will say, that the reason why I'm not as nervous about it is because there are not enough assets to make the trades that you're talking about. What's blowing his load for mean for Brad Treliving right now? There's nothing left to trade.
You're right, and that's probably a good thing. I'm sorry, I'm just like snickering here because there's like an Andrew. There's an Andrew Tater in the chat, man. Like, this is the wild, wild west. I haven't done late night, I don't know, radio, any platform in a long, long time, and I remember some of the phone calls and people. And hey, we've had ourselves a Saturday night, and we are getting it in this group, in this chat right now, and understandably so. The vibes are probably better than they would be if the Maple Leafs still stunk, but some of the characters come out of the woodworks. Like I saw some. Did you see the handle that was our boss potentially?
No.
Yeah, it was somebody. I think it was our boss who's probably watching right now in Michigan with Zach, but he beaks Zach a bit. He's like, I like this host a bit more than Zach Phillips. Maybe it was our boss.
Hopefully not, because I like Zach doing this more than I like doing it. I'll tell you that much.
Me too. Yeah, I'm right there with you. And a couple, to your point, a couple people in the chat, like you've got 3 hours to go. No, we don't. We're gonna wrap soon. Like, I'm sorry, people. I can't do the marathon. Like, I'm 36 now. I know Zach's like 27 or whatever he is. He can go for 3.5 hours. I just
got to keep fucking up the Zoom calls, and they'll be like, "This guy sucks. Let's get Zach back in there."
Yes. So again, if you're just tuning in, hope you're not at this point. At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That's Producer Vick. I'm Nick Alberga, filling in for Zach Phillips, who is on location in Michigan over this weekend. He'll be back for the game 45 on Monday, and that's going to be a big heat check game, I would call it, against Nathan McKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche. And I think you've made some great points on today's show, but the biggest one you made was like, look who's beaten Colorado in the last 2 weeks. 2 teams in the Atlantic, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. Why not us, Vic?
Why not us? And the Florida Panthers can't beat. I mean, they've been struggling, and they still went out and they beat those guys. So why not us? Let's do it.
Have we hit 50 more likes? Because I love the accountability. There's way more accountability in this chat than there is in the Leafs Morning Take chat. I think we have. Yeah, we're right at 150. So everybody I guess people just tune in to watch Zach hit the salts. Like, fuck. I hope that guy can smell in like 5 years from now, man. He is just constantly ripping the salts. It's pretty crazy.
I wish I had a second because I still have some salts that he gave me. They're sitting in my drawer, but it's okay. I'm sitting here, man, in the camera. I can't go get it.
Quite my toll here. Let's get to play of the game. And those of you in the chat right now, you can pipe in as well what you think was the play of the game. Vic, I'll go first. And I'll be honest, didn't know the protocol, quite frankly, of this show. I'm like, Vic, can you cue up this clip? I guess we're not supposed to know what the goal is or what we're going to go to. Yeah. But to me, it has to be the Nylander goal just because of that crazy sauce pass by Lorentz. And it might have been the goal that hurt Thatcher Demko. So, find out post-game from the Canucks and their media that, surprise, surprise, haven't heard this before, Thatcher Demko is hurt, going to be reevaluated back home in Vancouver. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happened on that nasty finish going cross crease there from Nylander, but hell of a pass by Steven Lorentz has been outstanding lately.
Yeah, and like I said before, Zach knew those two have chemistry, man. Lorentz and Willie. You put Willie on the fourth line. I'm going to go a little bit different here. I think the play of the game, I'm going to go with the Michelli goal. And for a couple reasons. One, Willie looked like he was fighting it, and you mentioned that right when he started. And I feel like that, just getting the feeling of the puck and seeing it go in, you set up the power play goal there. And number two, it was because it's on the power play. If we can keep that confidence going and keep that power play continuing to buzz, I feel like it reverberates through the whole lineup. Everybody's happy. Everybody's feeling it. Everybody's jumping. It gets the big guys feeling more confident. So I think it's very important that this power play continues to stay hot. So super, super happy to see that power play goal go.
Nicely done. And I don't know if I'm going to begin preparation just yet on that Prague shrine. I don't know what's going on. I haven't seen anything from Prague in the chat. We don't have the phone lines open, so nothing from Prague. And maybe he's just sitting back, throwing a lather on and just enjoying you and I doing this show. And he said, not tonight. I'll live to fight another day with Zach's back. And, it's going to be a tough one against Colorado. Maybe Colorado comes out and wins that game, and he gets right back on that horse with Zach on Monday. Is that what you think's happening with Prague right now?
Yeah, he misses Zach. That's it. He likes to get Zach going. I don't think you or me would get as fired up as Zach gets on any given night. I think we're more chill. People come to us for relationship advice.
Yeah,
they don't.
That's our niche market. Yeah. What's bothering your real life? Yeah. Fuck the Maple Leafs. And I think we've done a good job of that today. Let's get to the grade of the game, Vicky. You can go first here, buddy.
I'll just go with an A+. I can't think. I mean, even with the disciplinary issues, the PK came up strong. You didn't allow anything. I got no issues with the game tonight. Domi pumped somebody. Easton Cowan's fighting. Matthews looked good. Willie's back. He looked good. I got no problem with anything that happened today. Give me an A+.
I like it. So I mentioned on Leafs Morning Take on Friday, I started teaching on my old school, the College of Sports Media, great institution. Hashtag that. By the way.
We need that on a T-shirt as well, by the way.
The boys are buzzing because I called it a great institution. It is. A memo for any students who are listening or watching right now. I might be a difficult marker. I'm not going to go as far as an A+. I will give it an A.
Okay.
Merely because stay the fuck out of the penalty box. Like, this is Vancouver, one of the shittiest teams in the league, and you took too many men on the ice penalties, 6 minors. I'm telling you right now, you take 6 minors against Colorado, Zach and Prague are going to fight live on a stream on Monday. So that's why I'm giving it an A. But I mean, it's as close to an A+ as you can get, Vic.
That's fair. I have no issues with that. That's fair. I probably am a light grader because, I mean, when you get 2 points, to me, 2 points is 2 points. I don't care how you get them. Just get the 2 points. So for me, every win is an A+ pretty much. I don't give a shit how you get the 2 points. Just get the fucking 2 points.
I like it. It's time to recap our best bets brought to you by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use code NATION. That's NATION, NATION. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit ConnexOntario.ca. So reviewing my 2 best bets for today's game. Hit one. I got 1 for 2. Hit the Leafs 3-way money line. I had it at -110. To bet $50, you would win 95.45. So if you did that, you're feeling good. And as I mentioned, I like the super boost with Matthews and the ATG. It didn't hit. It was at -150 super boosted to plus -125 super boosted to plus 150. A $50 bet would have got me 125. He had some chances. He just couldn't connect for me tonight, Vic.
Yeah. Does that now it's 2 games in a row without a goal? Are we? What's wrong with Austin Matthews?
No, you know what? And I was thinking about that too. And I think that's like a fair rebuttal, but I think it's more about the process, which I think is hilarious to even say.
Yeah, I know.
But like, I'm noticing Matthews. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm noticing him play. Like I don't know what the fuck this guy did in that 3-day break. Maybe he took a trip overseas to Germany or wherever the hell he was, but he's got some pop, man. He's got some pop. He's getting some opportunities. I thought Lankinen made a couple of big stops there in the second period, shorthanded. He's getting his chances. I'd be more concerned if he just blended into the gameplay and I called him Milan Lucic the way I did in December. So we're feeling good about Matthews right now.
Yeah, it made me excuse me. Oh, voice cracked there.
Puberty hit. Nice.
It made me really, really happy to see him keep on that 2-on-1. He was looking to Waugh, but I think it was only just to move the defender over to get himself a shot. Yeah. It's making me more and more excited to see what the rest of the season look like for him because he's starting to find that shot again. He's trying to find that range. He's finding that hook and drag that we like. So I love it.
Hell yeah, the Maple Leafs win at 5-0, a 9-game point streak, 7-0-2 in the last 9. As mentioned, they snap a 3-game skid here against the Canucks. They've won 7 in a row on home ice, a home record of 16-5-5. And next up is a pretty daunting task at that. The league-leading Colorado Avalanche Monday night Ball Arena at altitude in Denver against Nathan McKinnon's Avalanche. Should be a good one. Then they got Utah on the back-to-back Tuesday. Thursday, they got the Vegas Golden Knights, a game I'll be boots on the ground at T-Mobile Arena. Carter Hart's banged up, not playing. So some intrigue there. Mitch Marner's playing center. So I'm looking forward to that game coming up on Thursday. And then Luke Schen's Winnipeg Jets a week from now. So, Vic, we'll leave it at that. Excellent job tonight, and I think we've set the table as best we could for Zach Phillips' return on Monday night.
Yep. Zach Phillips' revenge game. Let's see if he can top us. I don't think so. I don't think he's giving marital advice. I don't think he's giving girlfriend advice. I don't think he's talking people off ledges. Great shit, Nick. Thank you for having me, buddy.
We do that all here. I'd like to thank Dan Riccio of Off the Roster for dropping by from Scotiabank Arena to break down this big revenge game victory for him, 5-0 for the Maple Leafs. You guys in the chat, jokes aside, I thought you were tremendous. Some of your handles are fucking phenomenal. And again, if you're unaware, we do a daily show called Leafs Morning Take. It's me and former Maple Leaf Jay Roseville, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday to Friday. Coming up on Monday's episode, Vic, you know I've been chasing this guy for 4 years. It's the little things in life. Kyle Wellwood's going to drop by the show. Of course, the nice little touch and parallel, the Vancouver Canucks, played for the Canucks, played for the Leafs. He's coming up on Monday. I can't wait to reunite and talk shop with Kyle Wellwood, of all people.
Love it. He was one of my favorites growing up, which is crazy to say. I mean, you always have those those weird randoms. You know, when you're talking shop with your buddies naming random Leafs, Kyle Wellwood's always at the top of my list. I love Kyle Wellwood.
I was a big Yuri Talusti guy, and I thought we were going to get him, but things fell through. Remember, if you guys are watching our stuff closely, I thought I had him locked up, and he just went off the fucking grid. So shame on him, and that happens a lot on this show. But onwards we go, and we set up another big week here for the Maple Leafs. So again, thank you to everybody. You guys were tremendous. A big win here for the Maple Leafs at the Leafs Nation 401. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. A reminder, you can catch the Leafs Nation After Dark in podcast form. Wherever you find your podcast, just search it. When you do, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Don't forget as well to visit theleafsnation.com. That's going to do it for us. A 5-0 final for your Toronto Maple Leafs to hit the road for 4 in a row starting on Monday in Denver. For Producer Vic, I'm Nick Alberga. Talk later, everybody. Take care.
For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take, Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Roseville with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos. Make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.